I'm Bill Wilson, and I'm with Tim Inkelbarger, and we are Grocery Guys. Episode 2. Tim, we made it. Got through the first one. Are you ready for more?
It's incredible. We're on our way. And, we got a pretty good response, I think, from the first one. What do you think? Did you hear from anybody?
Haven't heard from anyone. I was really hoping we'd go viral with like 1 million views. Didn't quite get there, but, you got to have goals, right?
Yeah. No, well, it'll probably take probably 2 or 3 shows for us to hit 1 million views, but
that's what I'm thinking.
It's coming.
So what is coming is Aldi's merch drop, their latest merch drop, which I believe is March 19th. And you're going to tell us what they're going to be offering. This is a very big deal. Aldi is your beat. So why don't you go over what's going to be dropped for the Aldi merch drop come March 19th?
Well, I was surprised to see that there was a merch drop because they just had a merch drop about a month ago. And this is one of my favorite reasons to cover Aldi. I go out every time they have a merch drop and I pick up some Aldi merch. So I have a ridiculous amount of Aldi swag at this point. I got the shoes, I got the sweatpants, I got the socks. Last time I picked up and I'll just show you this real quick because I have it sitting on my desk right here.
The little Lego?
I got the Lego truck.
The Lego truck?
Yeah. I got the Lego Aldi store. I mean, and the great thing about their merch drop is, like all things at Aldi, it's really inexpensive. I got the truck here for I believe it was $6.99, and that Lego stuff is pretty expensive usually.
Legos can go for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars now, and it's funny because every time you go into a Lego store. And I know Aldi's is like a knockoff Lego. It's not the official Lego. But every time you go into a Lego store, it is packed. Everyone wants their Legos.
People love Legos.
Oh, and they love spending money.
Yeah. No, well, and I've also got the Aldi Let Faux Lego store, and I bought a little coyote in celebration of the coyote that was found in an Aldi here. What was that, like 2 or 3 months ago?
Not too long ago. Yeah, a couple months ago.
Yeah. So yeah.
What are they going to be dropping March 19th?
So on March 19th, they're going to be dropping a lot of stuff. This last Aldi drop was all kids stuff. So it was a lot of, like Legos and toys and Aldi kind of branded stuff. This one is going to have some more kids stuff, but it's not going to be just kids. And there's a lot of clothing this time around. So you got the Aldi t-shirt. Once again, like they did last year, they're going to have the Aldi shoes. You can get sneakers for like, I think it's like $12 or $13 for a pair of sneakers. Okay. They've got the Aldi keychain quarter holder, which is something that I use. I actually shop at Aldi. And there's a little thing on your keychain that will hold a quarter for you because, as you know, or maybe you don't if you don't shop at Aldi, in order to get a basket, you got to have that quarter to unlock.
That's right.
The basket there. So in the past,
we don't want anyone running away with a shopping cart basket.
That's right.
That's not a good look.
That's right. Well, but yeah, no, there's all kinds of gear. They got vests. They got like jogging pants. They got some shopping bags here. So, this coming Wednesday, I believe it's Wednesday, is when the drop will happen. And get there early. I've gone to these drops before, and it's full of Aldi fanatics. They show up before the store even opens, and there's a little crowd waiting to run to get the Aldi stuff. And if you're into retail arbitrage, go check out eBay. If you missed something that you didn't get, go check out eBay. I saw these tennis shoes that they had last year that they're going to have this year again. I saw them on eBay for like $40-$50 within a few hours of the merch drop. So people go buy a pair for like $12 and then they mark it up, 400 times the price they spent and sell it like that. So it's weird stuff.
but is there any fighting involved? I want to see some fighting. I
I
want to see some people pulling in tug of war for products.
The only punches that were thrown came from me. I was like, "Give me those
I figured
socks."
that.
It's
I
not quite
figured
like
that.
that. It's not Black Friday, but it's like an Aldi version of Black Friday, basically.
So, Aldi, if you want us to preview your products before they actually drop here on Grocery Guys podcast, we'd be more than willing to do that. But I thought that today we would come up with 3 things that Tim and Bill would like to see on a future Aldi merch drop. And I'll start. I'll do one, and you do one. We will rotate. Okay.
All right.
Here is one thing I would like to see on an Aldi merch drop: an Aldi slip and slide. What do you think?
Aldi slip and slide. That sounds good for the kids. My slip and slide days are over. They're long past me. I've neither slipped nor slid. In
I
quite a
want
while.
I want the old fashioned slip and slide. I want the thin piece of plastic kind of anchored down into the grass, and like when you go on it, you feel every single bump and rock
Exactly.
that it's covering.
You stand up
Because
and
that's
you have
what we did.
scratches all over your body. You're just
Yeah, you
you're
got bruises. I mean, but it's a slip and slide, so you can't pass up a time on the slip and slide. That's what I want to see. I want to see the old school slip and slide.
Aldi
What do
slip
you
and
got?
slide.
What do you got? What's your first item?
Well, I put down Aldi Cybertruck because
All right.
they're having some trouble right now, and if you look at the stock market, Tesla's is having a bit of a
They're
rough
hurting, man.
patch for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, they're going through a little bit of rough patch. And when you see those Cybertrucks, they're very bland looking. It's this sort of dead silver kind of. But if it said Aldi, that would help maybe.
Elon Musk is now no longer a trillionaire. Just so you know, he's below trillion in his earnings.
I
So,
feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for the
yeah.
guy. Give Aldi a call. They'll set him straight.
Okay, my number 2 item. It is a bubble maker kit, and I'm not talking about your funny little bubbles that you blow in the wind. Remember when you had the goo that you'd put on the end of a stick, and you would blow into the stick, and it would blow up a bubble, and you would inhale all these toxins. Remember those back in the day?
I
I
do.
can't remember what they were called exactly. I would like to
I
see
know what
that
you're
come
talking
back.
about. Yeah, no. It's been a while since I've blown bubbles, but I would do this. You're really kind of taking this this is kind of a nostalgia trip for you on the Aldi
You
merch.
know what? I am. I
You're
am.
you're thinking
What's
about,
number 2 on your list?
the next thing on my list is I was thinking it would be kind of cool, and this isn't very interesting or funny, but I was thinking it would be kind of cool to have an Aldi umbrella.
Very
You open it
functional,
up,
useful in the springtime. Yep,
it says
I
Aldi.
like it.
I'm in need of an
Are you
umbrella right
talking
now.
about those super big umbrellas that are annoying that people, when they open them up, they're like banging into everyone because they have their super big umbrella on so they won't be touched by a single drop of rain?
Right, right. Like get a nice fancy big heavy duty umbrella. It's starting to spring is here, so it's going to be raining, and I'll probably need something like that. I'm thinking
Poke
of
people in the
functional
eyes.
things. You're
No.
going down the nostalgia trip, and I'm like a car, an umbrella.
Yeah. Well, we got it all covered. You got the functional things. I got the nostalgia trip. And here's my third item. My third item is a Aldi face painting kit. What do you think? I
Oh,
can
yeah.
do up my face, and I can go into like Dollar General and like say Aldi, go Aldi, and my face is all painted in Aldi colors. What do you think?
I think that would be a big hit. You might find some fellow Aldi fanatics at the store, especially if you go this Wednesday for the merch drop. People
Oh, I think they
go,
go crazy over that.
they would. And I'm trying to remember. There's several Facebook and like social media groups that follow Aldi, and a lot of them are called like various versions of the Isle of Shame. Do you know what the Isle of Shame is at Aldi?
Yes.
It's where, right.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
and for folks who don't know, the Isle of Shame has a bunch of non-grocery items. And so you can get like a doormat, or you could get like, a sleeping bag, and it changes out all the time. So there's always, stuff in that aisle. And on those Isle of Shame groups, there's like a saying that they like, people will go in and make some kind of, I'm forgetting what it is now. I probably shouldn't have brought it up, but like Aldi fanatics know what this is, where they go in and it's like they make some kind of bird noise or something like that. And, and people know that you're part of the Aldi Isle of Shame group.
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah. With
Yeah.
your face, with
It's,
your face painted.
it's almost like a little bit of a cult. There's an Aldi, there's kind
Yeah.
of a
There
cult
you
vibe.
go.
It's very similar to Trader Joe's, and they're kind of cousins in a way. They're like grocery store
Yeah.
cousins to a degree, and they have a
Oh,
lot of
and
similarities.
people go gaga over their merch. I believe there's a tote bag.
They
That
really
last
do.
item for Trader Joe's is a tote bag. So what's number 3 on your list? What do you want to see in an Aldi merch drop?
I more Legos. Bring on the Lego Aldi
More
stuff.
Legos.
Perhaps like a distribution warehouse next.
There you
Because they
go.
already did the store,
It's
they
gonna be a
did the
big one.
truck. How about, or maybe the corporate offices could be the next
Yeah.
Aldi Lego
Batavia
set.
here. Batavia's not far from here.
Right.
All right. Well, I think we got some great ideas. I really expect Aldi to take notes, because I know someone from Aldi is watching this episode, taking notes, and I want to see our ideas for not this coming Aldi merch drop, of course, but for the next one. I want to see them on the shelf.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, no.
What are the
Well,
odds?
and you never know. You never know what's going to happen. It's Aldi's a little bit of a, it's a big question mark of what they're going to do next. They always keeping you on your toes.
All right, let's go to the meat counter. The meat counter is where we have our meaty story of the episode. Here's our main topic. Our main topic of this episode is diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. A lot of news going on there. Tim, you cover Amazon, and Amazon dropped some news a couple days ago. Let me have it there.
Yeah, well, it's really what it is. So it's happening this week. It's another one of those nationwide boycotts. And so this time around, and I know that you've written about some of this as well, and you've read this, but there's a group called the People's Union USA, and they have started these economic blackouts of various, retail operations, and in some cases, it's to protest, the reversal of DEI initiatives from retailers like Target and some of the other ones who have stepped back from, the ideas of DEI, in response to the incoming or the newly established Trump administration, who, he's got some DEI issues out there that he talks a lot about DEI. He's signed a lot of executive orders and rules and is very much against DEI. So this group has done these nationwide boycotts essentially for either, I think the first one was for a single day, and that was don't buy anything from anywhere unless it's a local store. But more recently, and it's happening this week, it ends on March 14th. The People's Union USA has decided to boycott Amazon. Numerator did a survey of shoppers. And as you may guess, the younger generations are far more into this, at least in terms of having an awareness of boycotts. Gen Z had the greatest awareness at 61%. So compared to the baby boomer generation, at 37%. And then millennials and Gen X are kind of in between there. So people know that this stuff is happening. Even older folks who might not be as plugged into social media, which is primarily where this the information about these boycotts are taking place. That's getting shared on social media, and it's starting to have an impact. I think that there was a report. And maybe I think you wrote this story about Target. It really it did have an impact on Target, at least I believe it was their digital media, right?
Yeah, it's been hurting Target big time. Their stock price has been dropping. They have, on that 1 day boycott, February 28th, there was a study that was released on that, and they were affected in terms of website visits and app use for that day. Now there's a 40-day boycott for Target, and I don't know. It started a few days ago, and actually it started late last week. But here's my question. If you're going to have a boycott, you got to boycott. I think if you're going to boycott, you boycott Target until they bring their DEI policies back, if that's what you want. The 40-day, the 1 day, the 40-day, okay, you might make a statement, but people are going to go back. People are going back after that 1 day of February 28th boycott. People went back and probably went on Target's website and did their normal thing. Walmart also, they pulled back on their DEI policies, not as impacted nearly as much as Target because their demographics, simply, to be quite frank, they don't care. So Target is the one that's being hit here. But, after this 40 days, is it going to be business as usual? And if that's the case, what is the point of the boycott? Are they going to go back to their DEI policies? Do you really think so?
Right. It's a big question. And the thing I've wondered about, because I've wondered about that as well, because, that sort of the idea that you're going to have a 1 day boycott, well, you can just do your shopping the day after that, right? But a 40-day boycott, maybe that has a little bit more of a punch to it. But on an event like that, the thing that I wonder about is if you do it for that long, do people get burned out and just say, hey, I need some toothpaste? I'm
Yes.
going to Target because it's down the street and I don't want to have to drive all the way to Costco or some other store. And, it's my understanding these boycotts are, it's going to be one after the next. And I think they're going to go from place to place, and then they'll have nationwide boycotts. And I think they want to roll them out in this way. Perhaps there's a belief that it will have greater impact that way. I'm really not sure, but it sure is resonating with some shoppers.
Absolutely. And when you talk Target, it's resonating with Target. I really do think that a lot of these retailers, when they became involved and engaged in this DEI policies, did not go all in. They didn't go all in because if they went all in and they were fully invested, they would not be pulling back.
Right.
So that's a little disappointing. They were kind of, it's like they were going with the times. All right. 4 years ago, DEI was a thing. Everyone was doing it. So let's go with the tide and let's go with what social media is telling us. And now, there's pushback from that. Oh, so let's go with the tide. Now we're going to pull back because we never really wanted to do it anyways. It does not really, I don't think it goes over well with the shopper in terms of trust.
Yeah, no, when you switch it back and forth, it's sort of, I think people start to have a little bit of a cynical view of it, right? I mean, if you have DEI and then you don't have it and then you have it again and you're kind of wishy-washy about it, maybe people have less trust for you as an entity. There are some who didn't and seem to be faring pretty well on all of this. Like you write about Costco, that's on your beat. I will have that someday on my beat. No, probably not. I do want Costco.
Keep on trying, Tim.
I'm going to bring this up in every episode.
Maybe if you give me some Aldi merch, man, maybe, come on.
Okay,
I'll
pick you up some tennis shoes and you give me the Costco beat. But they had like an almost like an investor kind of effort within some of their top investors to reverse their DEI, sort of threatening, or with the notion that it put the company in jeopardy, right? Wasn't that their argument that Costco could get sued and so forth?
Yep.
But that hasn't played out, because Costco rejected it, right?
Costco rejected it, and they are standing pat. They are keeping their DEI initiatives. And on that February 28th boycott, they did particularly well compared to Walmart and Target. So people were turning their business over to Costco for that day at least. So paper or plastic time, Tim? One or the other. Here's my question. Do you think Target will eventually succumb to the shopping pressures and reverse and go back to supporting DEI?
Boy, that's rough. That's hard
I
to say.
know. We opened up with some games. Haha, Aldi merch time. Now we're serious, Tim. I want the serious Tim. What do you say?
Brass tacks, down to business.
There's no wrong answer.
Right.
There's no wrong answer.
There is no wrong answer.
For it.
I would say, I suspect that Target is going to stick to its guns for the foreseeable future, and not having a DEI policy. I think that they're at a point right now where it's like they don't know what to do. Like they're back and forth, and to switch again, I think would be real trouble for them, because I think a lot of their shoppers who support the concepts of DEI have already turned on Target. Like if they switch back now, it's not like people are going to go, oh, huzzah, let's go back to Target. They're probably still going to be shopping at other stores at this point, I would guess.
For the second episode in a row, I'm going to agree with you. I'm not riding your coattails here, but I think they're going to stand pat. They're going to weather the storm. They're thinking, give it a few months, maybe it's going to pass. And I really do think that, honestly, I don't think they were all in to begin with, and the Trump administration movement gave them an out, and they took it, and I think they're going to stick by it. So that's what I have to say.
Yeah.
So that's it. Episode 2, we've accomplished so much, Tim. We have given Aldi new ideas for their next merch drop. I mean, what more do you want?
Where's my check, Aldi?
Yeah, we want, and I'm telling you, if there's a slip and slide on that shelf for the next merch drop, I'm asking for some royalties off of that. What do you think?
If they start selling Cybertrucks, I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah, especially the Cybertrucks. All right, for Tim Inkelbarger, I am Bill Wilson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great week.